All right, so let's talk about X. Right? This is a slasher film. This is written, produced, directed, and edited by Ty West. Right? I'll confess, haven't seen a majority of his films though. I know that The House of the Devil is ranked amongst his best works basically. But I can't honestly can't say that I honestly have not seen a majority of his works. Right? But my reason for watching this is two reasons, right? One is A24. I fucks with the A24, right? Every time they drop something, I want to see it. Even though not all of them will land, but you just kind of want to see, wow, boy, they actually greenlight this. Where like this gives hope for people like me, Dred, who just want to come with something real unique and just stand out from amongst the crowd. Hey, there's a studio that's willing to give you a budget to, I don't know, like for example, make a movie about a woman who raising a lamb as her own daughter, right? So whatever, right? But yeah, and the second reason is the premise, right? Which I'm gonna get into, right? So this is set in 1979, right? And we meet this film crew. And they are, well, pretty much, in the adult film industry.
Right.
And they are in the process of making a porn film, right? Called The Farmer's Daughter, right? Yeah. So you kind of get the gist of what the show is about. Sorry, what that film in a film is about. I don't even need to tell you what the premise is, right? But yeah, they have, well, pretty much it's set in Texas, right? And they picked this particular spot. They spoke to the owner. When I say they, I mean the director and the producer, right? So
Right.
they headed off there. So it's basically him who, sorry, it's basically the director, producer, the sound lead. Well, sorry, person who's handling sound. So well, it's basically the girlfriend or hinted at girlfriend of the director himself. And we have two, well, I should say, sorry, three actors, right? One is played by Kid Cudi, of all people.
Right. He's in this. Okay.
Yeah, he's in this, right? Scott
Right.
Mescudi, sorry, himself, right? Who plays Jackson Hole, right? And if you know a thing or two, or if you're at least marginally familiar with that era of filmmaking, then yeah, that name makes a lot of sense, right?
Right.
But also two other actresses as well. One is way more experienced in that industry, and one is fairly new, right? So, they make it to the place itself, right? So it's basically like not, I don't want to say abandoned, but just basically this boarded house, basically, right? And it's like a short distance away from where the owner lives, right? The owner name is Howard, right? This elderly man, right? And he lives there with his wife, right? Who's named Pearl, right? So you kind of learn early on, and you kind of get the sense, similar to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that yeah, they are basically on their way to get slaughtered, right? The crew themselves, right? And as they get there, they're doing their job, they're filming their stuff, they stick it to the schedule, right? But yeah, one thing leads to the next door, and the couple kind of finds out what they're up to, and they don't want anything with that at all. So their solution is just to flat out slaughter these individuals. And I'll stop here, right?
Right.
So, right off the bat, though, I noticed this of the trailer alone, though. This is a loving throwback, or I should say, homage to 1970s slashers and thrillers, right? There's even a great moment though where the show, like how it opens, you think you're watching a 4:3 ratio film, right?
Right.
But then you realize, oh wait, it's not that. And the way how they pull it off, though, is so simple. And I'll tell you, Ricardo, when you see it, you'll be like, nah, I want to do that. I want to make a shot. I want to do a establishing shot just like that. It's so
Right.
simple. It's one of the dopest things you will ever see in a movie, Dread. Hands down, right? But yeah, this is just a love letter to like old school, slashes and whatnot, and also somewhat of a celebration, or at least an appreciation, I would say, of that era of adult films, right? So
Right. Right.
just I try to make myself out here, right? But there's a nice little subplot involving the director. This little scuffle. Sorry, this I would say this disagreement, right, between the director and producer, right? So the producer and everybody else, they were like, yeah, we just make it smart, right? It's for perverts, right? They're gonna go in cinemas and whatnot, right? Well, the producer kind of going big with it, right? Well, actually, I should say the more experienced actress makes this point where she says, one day, what I mean, like people will be able to enjoy these movies in their home, right? And well, the rest is history, right? But is the disagreement where it's like, well, the director saying, you know what, I don't want this to be just a skin flick. I want it to be art. You know what I mean? Similar
Right.
to like what the French are doing right now. That actually catch me when they see the French is doing right now, because
Right.
I know they were doing avant-garde shit for like years now, but it's
Well,
whatever, right?
it have the one thing they tried back in the 70s and 80s. I'm not sure if they're doing it nowadays, but this whole trying to square porn and art and prop quote unquote real cinema together in one thing, because like Midnight Cowboy came out around this time and it actually
Yeah,
won an
well, 69 it came out. Yeah,
69, right? Sorry, right. And then they had like the Manuel franchise, for example, which is like
yes.
known for being stream, what is adult entertainment, whatever.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. So it's actually like how they brought that up too. It's very self-aware too, right? If porn is art and whatnot, right? And it brings up to mind, well, just kind of a dumb shout out, but basically, Vinegar Syndrome, right? This is
Right.
this whole media, company that I've been rocking with for like a few years now. But
Right.
one thing that they really do is that they actually put out like classic, I put this in quotation, skin flicks from the 70s and 80s, right? But the mere fact that they put this out in Blu-ray, in 2K
Well,
and 4K restoration,
yeah,
it will kind of have like film nerds like me thinking, well, maybe I should kind of look at this thing like
Yeah.
this is like real contributions to cinema, not just cheap smut, right?
Yeah,
So-
because I knew they did this thing the other day, New York Ninja or something like that.
Yes, which by the way, I know Double Toasted talking about it.
Right.
I need to see that movie, Dread. I need
Yeah,
to
but
see that.
right. So it's interesting what they're doing. There's all of these like they're doing a sort of old Billy Blank stuff for stuff that is fine.
Yes,
Like
yeah, you're right. Billy Blanks. I see it.
Yeah.
Bolo Young and
Right.
who else? My Cynthia Rock. So I just
Right.
love the fact. But basically,
But
in a
even-
nutshell,
even,
guys, it's just like they taking like stuff that would have been in some like delegated to this cassettes, right?
Right.
Or
yeah.
film reels, like those
Right.
same 70s and 80s skin flicks.
Dolomite.
And, yep,
I see-
yeah, Dolomite
got
and whatnot. And put it out on
thousands.
Blu-ray. I am down for all that. I love that.
Right.
But the
right.
point I get at is that like now, film nerds like me will kind of look at these films in the 70s and 80s and be like, there's an artistry to it, It's not
Right.
just sex, but there's an artistry to it too, So yeah, but thankfully it's not just about that, right? But it kind of serves as a great context into what's going on, right? So also the show touches on very well, though, even though in my opinion I felt it was a little too telegraphed early on, though, but how they play it off in the end, which I wouldn't spoil, I thought was brilliant. The idea of just what Christianity at the time, right? It viewed the industry like that, right?
Right,
There's numerous nods to, this is blasphemy and this is sin and this is evil and all that kind of stuff, right? A little too direct in my opinion. Like, they really had a poke. We really had to make this. Yeah, we really had to hammer this point in there, But I like how it works into the story near the end. That's all I'll say, right? But really, at the heart of it, what it is just this good old-fashioned slasher flick, right? For the moment it starts, you pick up bits of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it's like, it's just this ragtag group of friends just in this van going from place to place. But as they go there, they just see a bunch of weird stuff. And by the time they reach the house, everything seems normal. And then one by one, people just start getting picked off. And then when you realize what's really going on, what the main conceit is, it is creepy AF too. And it is the same thing here, boy. Not spoiling anything though. This couple though, right? Howard and Pearl. I think probably like I'm not versed in all things slash, right? But I think this is probably like the oldest like killers I've seen in a slash flick ever, Jen, And and
what movie thing? M Night.
which one? The Visit. I still haven't seen the Visit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still haven't seen the Visit, but so I guess okay, I'm wrong, right? But I talk about like slashes, right? But yeah, and you're thinking, oh gosh, well, these old people, they could barely walk. Oh gosh, like how expect them to kill these young people, Dread? And they show you how. And one thing that the show really does well, right? And this is not a gripe though, but this thing really works though. The deaths are pretty hilarious though, but intentionally so, Dread. So yeah, you could kind of watch this as a horror comedy and both as a commentary on 70s sleaziness and whatnot. But yeah, it totally works though. Yeah, I was laughing at the majority of these deaths though, right? And it comes so unexpected. Some of them you kind of see building up slowly as well too. When they play off, when they actually are executed, it's just like, yeah, this is awesome, right? What in particular involving Pearl though, yeah, it makes for one of the movie's most memorable scenes, like hands down, Trent. Like you would expect she would go this far, but she really went that far, right? That being said, speaking of Pearl, right? You do this rather interesting, subplot involving her, and this is how I love how they compare it to, porn and whatnot, right? This idea of beauty, right? So because she's old, she feels like she's unloved now, so she wants satisfaction from her husband, but the husband's like, no, I can't do it because I got a bum, I can't, it's not working well there anymore, typical stuff, right? But you really see how it affects Pearl, right? But, the show doesn't go too deep into it, but it's kind of enough for you to be like, okay, I can kind of see why she could go mad and start to kill these individuals off, right? Because yeah, they're young and they're hot, right? So it's like I'm gonna kill you basically like that, right? The way how I see it, it's all really shallow, but like how it's portrayed, it kind of sort of makes sense, right? But because of Sasha film, you're not really supposed to think about it too much. Although I know with the if I give it more more views, sorry, I'll still come out of it like, but still, like, why you want to kill them for it? But again, I love how they touch on religion, so you can tell that they are just even though they don't specifically say it, right? But they are, religious nuts. So, these are heathens and we must kill them, right? But it's a nice little twist near the end, though, where they kind of, connect that to the characters involved, right? And I thought that was brilliant, right? But yeah. Also, lastly, I thought that the cast was great in this, though. It's a really small cast, though. Like, I would say, like, about, 10 people total in this movie, though. And, it's not a high budget, right? It's just, like, a few locations, though. But what they were able to do with the budget and the locations totally worked. The acting is strong, though. Even from Kid Cudi himself. Like, he is literally the strapping, black, male porn star, right? But, he was a former Vietnam War vet and all that kind of stuff, too. And, it's just how they work him into the story. That's how they work. And by the way, he's also one of the producers of this show here. So, I guess that makes sense, right? But really, he started out in this movie, though, is Mia Goth, though. She absolutely kills it, right? And just going to give just a slight spoiler here. She actually plays Pearl as well. So she's doing dual roles in this, right? But like at the end credits,
is that relevant
right?
to the plotline, or is just the shared actress?
Yes and no. But when you see it for yourself, all right. What I'll say though, right, is that the way how it ends, right, is only afterwards I learned that there's actually going to be a prequel, right, called Pearl. So it's going to be about Pearl. I
Okay.
imagine it's going to be her when she's much younger, right, and I guess Mia will play her, right, but they kind of connect them near the end. That's all I'll say. So it kind of works that way, right? That's all I'll say, right? But yeah, my mind was blown when I realized it was she playing those two characters. That is some excellent makeup and prosthetics, boy. Oh my god, right?
Nice.
But it totally works here, right?
Okay.
But yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed this though, and I have to give credit to E24 for seeing as well, right? Let me just give this movie that would have just been thrown away as, it's just some kind of knockoff 70s throwback thingy. And let me just give this some flavor. Let me just give this some polish. Let me really make this show look good and, sound good. By the way, sound design is great. Cinematography is great. Color correction is great, though. They really went out of the way to make it look, like literally like you're watching a 70s film at some point, especially when you see, the whole filmed stuff, right? That's all I'll say, right? They really make it look convincing, right? But yeah, boy, E24 really put some effort into this, though, and, like, they really get a really decent film out of this, I would say, right? And lastly, before I get to rate it, boy, I do see this being a cult classic in the long run. Like, I don't think it will, like, I think it might pass people's readers, though, but I think, like, by years ending, this is going to come up as one of the year's best, though. It's not one of my favorite movies I've seen for the year thus far. I'll say that right off the bat, right? But it is one of the more enjoyable films I've seen this year. But I've seen it one time, this is destined to be a cult classic. Like people are gonna look back at this and be like, yeah, boy, this really, especially like how they touch on again, just that film industry of the 70s and 80s. Like they're really gonna touch on that very well, right? So yeah, rating wise, I'm gonna give this a light 4 out of 5, man. This is absolutely worth checking out. But I would say that if you are a fan of slasher films, if you just have a fondness for the sleaziness of 70s and 80s cinema, then yeah, you will really really enjoy this though. Don't go into this one expecting a lot of depth though, but just the points they touch on worked for me. Sometimes they're a little on the nose, but they work for me, right? Solid cast, direction, and I forgot to mention Ty West really came through very 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 well with this though. He knocked out the park with this one, and I can't wait to see the prequel for this one as well. So yeah, X I would say if I can rate it like out of 4, I would say this gets 3 X's. Get it? Out of 4, right? So yeah, if you're a horror junkie or if you just want to see something a little bit different, but in the sleazy realm of cinema, yeah, give this one a look, man. You'll enjoy this one, man.